moment and maybe we'll get started. Gotta check to make sure all my audio is right and I'm not sounding like a robot or worse, I'm doubling up. Fantastic. My desk is a mess from work today. Luckily for me, the workday is now over. And we're all very happy for that, aren't we? Ooh, hello. What do we have here? Oh, this man was drunk when he was supposed to be on watch. This is a bad man. The watering down of our elite troops with these bumpkins seems to be the main cause. He will serve decimation as the proper Roman punishment. Now, it seems that we have some rebels here. Some rebels that we must deal with. Let's see here. Okay. Now, this evening is going to be a very special evening, but first, I'd like to just let people have the opportunity to kind of come in that normally come in. Because tonight, we're going to be discussing in depth our dear and fearless leader, Flavius Honorius Augustus, and all the wonderful and yet not wonderful things that he had done. He had done, has done. And we're going to get into that maybe in a couple minutes. But right now, let's just kind of get our bearings. Let's try to pick up where I left off. Ooh, hello. We have bad people here. And we are going to take them out real quick. We're going to start this night off with a big old fight. Jeez. So they've got an onager. Oh, jeez. Heavy cavalry. Okay, so I'm going to have to actually get in. Okay, so I've got 2 sets of cavalry. Alright, so since I have reinforcements coming from the near settlement, this shouldn't be too hard of a fight. I was about to say, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to manage this, but we'll make it work. But yeah, I want to give people the opportunity to come in that normally come in before I start going over the history of Flavius. Because I'm not really familiar with this time frame. I'll be completely honest. I had to do a lot of research on it over the week, and I wish I was able to do a little bit more. There were some parts that I was like, "Wow, this is really cool. I want to know more about this." Then there was other parts where I was like, "Okay, do I even want to bring this up? Because it's almost like it's not even worth it." Even though they might be relatively interesting sections of history. Oh, 1 second here. But I did learn a lot of new stuff about this time period, especially with the Roman Emperor here, that I didn't really know about before. And the more I read about it, the more I looked at it, the more I wanted to keep digging and keep reading. And the more I did that, the more off track I got. So I hope that hopefully this will be entertaining, because I tried to make it as entertaining as I possibly could, while at the same time not just completely focusing on making it humorous, because there's a lot of really stupid crap that happens, and most of it I would say is most of the big blunders I would say were completely avoidable, and of course, like every glorious empire's failing, they don't even bother to avoid them. They just walk right into them and don't care. All right, now let's see here. I want to move my Alright, now let's... Oh, fantastic. Let's move you guys right over here. Let's get you right into the fight. Let's speed this up a little bit. I don't want to charge my forces. I just want them to walk gently in that direction. But I hope everybody's had a wonderful few days since our last playthrough of XCOM. Hopefully this will be less frustrating. Because I really needed a win the other night, and I wasn't getting one. Let's see. Do not want to do mobile Tetsudo, at least not, yeah, not yet anyway. And since we're going to be charging right into their rank there, they got a lot of cavalry, a lot of cavalry. A lot of cavalry. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to deal with it just yet. But I do know one thing. I'm going to try to hit him in the flank as quickly as I can. Let's march. Just run, you guys. Anyway, what I can start out with was the fact that Flavius Honorius's father was actually, although rather, like, from it sounds like, not an idiot. He made a lot of really stupid decisions. And he's actually one of the only Roman emperors that actually had blood relatives take over for him. So, like, he actually had progeny, like children, that actually did take over the empire for him. And most people really don't know this. Most of the empires that we see usually have blood heritages take them over, but not in this case. The Roman Empire was very, very different that way. They did not actually have blood relatives take over the empire from them. Usually it was based off of merit. So, you know, generals that had a long history of service, that kind of stuff. Oh, hello. And so that was the first weird thing that kind of stuck out to me. It was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. He actually didn't have, you know, he didn't actually use a person with merit. He chose his kids. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Archers, no! No! Alright, cohorts, go take care of them. Alright, now you guys over here. Oh, I guess okay, fine. They just attack them in the back. Okay, come on, attack them. Alright, get them out of the way. Knock them out as quickly as possible. Hey, Grim. It's not going to be that bad. I am going to start it in just a minute, but first I wanted to knock this fight out, and then we're going to talk about it, because there's lots of stuff that I learned that I didn't know about, and the more I learned about it, the more I was like, good God, I'm surprised the Empire even outlasted Honorius. It doesn't make any sense how this empire lasted longer than he did. Now, granted, he did a ton of damage to it. He did massive damage to it. As a matter of fact, I would say as emperors go, the fact that it survived at all is just, I mean, it's a testament to how well, or sorry, not how well, it's a testament to how, I guess, hardy human beings can be, because holy crap, he burns it to the ground. And he does so by doing nothing half the time. It's so bad. I mean, the more I read about him, the more I hated him. The more that I learned about him, the more I was just like, why did somebody should have killed you by now? I mean, as far as Romans go, like, Romans have a tendency to murder their emperors. They have a really bad tendency for that. And when I start, like, the rise of Rome, that history lesson, or I guess that history tangent, we're gonna learn that real fast. Romans have a very, very low tolerance for people that do not follow orders and do not do things in a proper way. And they've got even less tolerance for people that are incompetent. Like, they murder these people with a vengeance. And the fact that this guy lasted as long as he did is a testament to how lucky he was. And we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to start from the day he was born, because that's when his freaking atrocities start. It's bad. It's really bad. Alright, let's move you over here. You need to go kill these people. and I've got about roughly 2 pages of notes that I want to go over. And I normally don't like to script things out. I like things to be very fluid. But there was lots of stuff about Honorius and this time period that I did not know off the top of my head. So I will be needing to reference them from time to time. And I don't like to do that. When we get to the Rome section, the regular just the rise of Rome, like the Roman kingdoms, the Roman Republic, and then the slow transition into empire, I'll probably still have some notes just so I don't mix up time frames. But I think that it'll be a lot less dependent upon what I've written down and a lot more just like, okay, now where did I leave off? I don't really need the money, and you guys are filthy rebel scum, so you're all gonna die. All right, so let's just finish you off. All right, so Flavius Honorius was born on September of year 384 AD, and that is when crap started going really far south for everyone in Italy. And he was so good at being born that he was given his very first government position. He was given a consulate position, and he finished that position, that glorious position, with honors before the age of 2. So before he was 2 years old, he had already gotten his first taste of real power. Now, in the old-timey Roman world, a consul is one of the most powerful men in Rome. They're essentially the president, except, and again, well, I'm not going to go too far into it now, but now this is late Rome, so I'm sure the position had changed. Again, I'm not 100% familiar with this time period. But a consul traditionally sat in the Senate, and their job essentially was to veto or rubber stamp senatorial edicts. Now, a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old having a consul position is absolutely hilarious to me. There's nothing funnier about that I could possibly imagine. It's fantastic. It just shows how eroded the Senate had become under all the empire, all the other former emperors. Now, unfortunately, end of this time period, there's Emperor Theodosius, I believe, the first. And Theodosius is the last emperor to ever see the empire ruled under one emperor. He himself had. Let me move this back a little bit. He himself had multiple civil wars and whatnot, and we're not going to go over those. We'll do that at the rise of Rome and then slowly during the fall. But he did, however, have a good sense of what to do in a crisis, or at least a better sense than his sons did, because Theodosius had 2 sons, Honorius and Arcadius. Honorius eventually would rule the west, and Arcadius would rule the east. And in 395, and I forget why he died, the emperor died, making Honorius the first emperor of the Western Roman Empire at the age of 10. Now, at first, the empire was never supposed to be split. The empire was supposed to be retained under one person, just like it had under Theodosius, under the guidance of Stilicho. Stilicho was a Roman general, but also born of a Vandal. A Vandal is a type of barbarian that eventually invades the Western Roman Empire. Though, again, like, there's some parts that I didn't quite know if I wanted to go into. This is one of those moments where I'm like, it would be good to know, but it's not needed. But just needless to say, Stilicho was supposed to actually rule the entire empire. However, there is a lovely gentleman by the name of, I believe, Rufinus. Rufinus, that's what it was. Rufinus. Because Arcadius and Honorius, they are the emperors. They are the children of the emperor, so they have final say. And with Rufinus's guidance, he encouraged Arcadius to split the empire, and Honorius agreed. I read multiple points saying this wasn't the case, that there was a lot of more coercion involved with it. I think this just had to do with the fact that Arcadius and Honorius were children and did not know what to do, but given the opportunity for power, they took it, and that's what I think happened. It's not entirely certain exactly what it is that triggered that. At least not that I can see that is definitive in any historical documents that I read. All I know is that at some point Rufinus convinced Arcadius and Honorius in some way to willingly split their empire apart. Now, this created some massive problems. As I've said before, the West had all the enemies and none of the money. The East, way over here, had all the money and very, very few enemies, which creates our first real big problem. Now, we're not going to go into the economics of the Western Roman Empire, but needless to say, the West has always been the subject of civil wars at this point for hundreds of years. Like, there's constantly been invaders, there's constantly been civil wars, new emperors cropping up that claim emperorship over everything. So this is already in a very, very bad position. So Honorius, well, he's 10 years old. In 398, before we do that, so he has to rely heavily on Stilicho. Now, Stilicho is already a general of some renown, and he's extremely good at what he does. He's so good that in many cases, he's pretty much the reason the West had not fallen yet. And he's the reason the West lasts as long as it does under Honorius. Now, I can't really separate the time frames, or I can't really separate the rule of Honorius from the I don't know if I want to call it the rule or the administration of Stilicho, because it really, in many cases, Stilicho was the one that actually ran the empire. Because again, as 10 years old, he really doesn't know what he's doing. And even if he was, even at 20 years old, you still don't know what you're doing, especially if you're managing an empire that spans the world. It's just too much. Let me get this right here. But in 398, we have our first real problem. Excuse me. We have the introduction of a lovely gentleman named Gildo. And he sparks what is called the Gildonic War. And that happens in 398. And what this guy was a piece of crap among pieces of crap. He was known among the aristocracy and the leadership of Rome to be an absolute piece of crap. He embezzled money. He was a tyrant even to the people that were underneath an emperor that would kill them. He was an awful piece of garbage. He was so bad, he was known among people that were pieces of garbage. That's how bad this guy was. Ooh, I need to repair all this. Jeez. So, he figured that he would actually be able to rebel against a 11-year-old kid with no problem, right? Or sorry, he's 13 now. He had some other things coming. So this war ended in like the weirdest way possible, because it actually didn't have much fighting involved. He had about 70,000 men with him that were fighting men. In total, it was roughly estimated that he had about 100,000 people with him. Do I want to fight you in the field? I probably could and win. I don't know if I want to, though. It's a waste of soldiers. I don't have much cavalry. I need more cavalry if I'm going to do that. Let's just get a bunch of cavalry here. And can I upgrade my cavalry? No, not that one. No. So where am I getting my cavalry from? Sorry, I don't mean to stop. I'm looking to see where my cavalry's coming from. Oh, there it is. I don't have that yet. I don't have that yet. Oh, crap. Crap. No, that's okay. I'm still working on that. So, Stilicho names a general, if you say, to go deal with Gildo, because Gildo rebels against the empire. And when he gets there, he has a parley with, with Gildo's forces. Now, as I said, Gildo's forces are at 70,000 strong, and they don't have that kind of soldiers to fight with right now. So they're kind of weak right now. They don't have the people to do this. Ooh, I need to do. I need to upgrade. Yeah, there we go. Upgrade all those. And let's see, Ravenna. I definitely want to upgrade Ravenna. How much food do you have? 28. Oof. That's gonna knock out my food supply here. So what happens is that during a meeting, a parley between a gentleman by the name of Mescazel, as he's speaking to a standard bearer, he gets really frustrated, and he smacks him on the arm, and the standard bearer drops his standard. Now, if you know anything about ancient warfare, the standard is what you rally around. So if you see like certain symbols certain symbols fall to the ground or certain bad things happen, that tells you what's going to happen next. So, oh, hello, Regium. Did we win this fight? I don't even know. So what ends up happening is that the standard bearer drops his standard like an idiot. And so what happens is that all the other legions and the cohorts around him start lowering their standards. Which guess what does? The entire army surrenders. Why? Because they saw one standard bearer lower his standard, the rest did the same. So quite literally, he had won the war without doing anything. One guy cost Gildo his entire insurrection because he got smacked on the arm during negotiations. That's awesome. It's fantastic. But it gets better. Hello. Oh, we're killing you. Definitely killing you. So, Gildo manages to escape, but then just hangs himself, because I would too after that. Because it's fantastic. And I actually, crap, I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. I wish I did. I didn't actually write down how long this war lasted, but it wasn't very long. And so we get into our very next major issue, which is the Visigothic invasion. This begins the first Gothic war of the Roman Empire, across both empires, actually. And I didn't know how much I wanted to bring into this. Jeez, they are right over this mountain then, I guess. So, Alaric the First is a Visigoth who is actually under the, I think, tutelage of another Gothic soldier named Gaius. And what he does is he breaks into a rebellion. Now, at this point in time in the Roman Empire relies very, very heavily upon the Federati, or the barbarian forces that help keep Rome safe from invaders, because they had gotten very weak. I'd say weak. They had gotten very lazy about administering their empire. So instead of actually using Roman blood to deal with Roman problems, they decided the better option was to use barbarian blood for this. Now, like I've said in multiple past streams before, this is a suicide pact. Using people that are not part of your empire to fight your wars, yet have them in your land, is suicide. It invites your enemies onto your doorstep, and we see that with Alaric the First. Now, it's suspected that Rufinus, the guy from the very beginning, that lovely gentleman from the beginning that we talked about, it's suspected that he had some part to play in this, but there's also suspected that Stilicho had some role to play in this, because at the time, Alaric was actually a military general for the Eastern Roman Empire. But Alaric turns his sights on the Eastern Roman Empire first. And what he wants to do is he moves to Constantinople. But now Constantinople was actually the head of, the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire. But the Eastern Roman Empire and the ones at Constantinople paid him to go away. And he goes, all right, I'll go away. And so what he does is he turns from Constantinople and starts heading south into Greece. Actually, I'm sorry. He burns through his bribe money first, and then he starts moving south into Greece. Now, of course, this is a problem for the Western Romans because this time I think I think Greece and those provinces were under Western Roman Empire control. So what does Stilicho do? Stilicho gathers his forces and starts meeting him out there in Greece, and he utterly obliterates Alaric, but Alaric escapes. Alaric then negotiates with the Eastern Roman Empire for safety. And he actually, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know who he negotiated with. I don't know how he did this. He manages to convince the Eastern Roman Empire to give him not only a generalship, again, but land and actual resources and the protection of the Eastern Romans. It boggles my mind. I don't know why they did this, except to maybe piss in the face of the Western Roman Empire. But the East gives him a generalship and Illyrium, which is we'll show it after with this, but it's right across the coast from, basically, yeah. To me, this sounds like to me that somebody was pissing in somebody else's cereal because they could, and they liked the fact that the Goths were attacking the Western Romans. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, this forces Stilicho to retreat. Now, this is a big problem. But Stilicho does not like this. But he knows he has a choice. He has a choice to either... He has a choice to either cause a civil war between the East and the West, which nobody wanted, or he has to pull back. So he chooses to pull back. Now, after this... not even like a year passes. Alaric decides he's not done. He's not done fighting. He's not done killing people, and he's definitely not done screwing with the East or the Western Roman Empire. So what does he do? He moves north, and he begins to invade. Which one was it first? He tries to go after Milan. Now, Honorius moved the capital from Rome to Milan. Why? Because Rome was kind of useless in many respects. It had no real purpose or value anymore. So he decides to set up court in Milan. He is hoping to take the Western Roman Emperor like that. He wants to get him first and fast. Now, Stilicho, finding this out, moves north into Gaul and starts pulling the Gallic legions down into the south. Now, Alaric actually manages to make it to Milan, and he actually manages to siege Milan. However, Stilicho arrives right after him. So this siege did not last long. And of course, like before, Alaric... before we even go any further, there are multiple versions of this story too. There are some versions of the story that say that Alaric was winning this fight, but that something happened and then he lost. There's other versions of the story that say that Stilicho completely wiped the floor with Alaric and just completely decimated his army. I can't really say one way or the other. My guess is because of the way that Alaric lost, it sounds to me like Stilicho won. It sounds to me like almost every time Stilicho fights Alaric, Alaric loses horribly. It's a devastating defeat. Now, Stilicho is actually not he's not a bad guy from what I can see in this. So what he does is after the crushing defeat, Stilicho then offers prisoners in exchange for the Visigoths just going back to Illyrium, just going back, not even saying, hey, you have to give us. They're just saying, look, I'm sorry, Illyrium is actually right here. It's in this area right here. I think specifically it's like this little section right here or right here. Let's see if they even have it. So Macedonia, do they even have it on here? I don't think they do. No. So Illyria is this section of land right here, roughly speaking. And and so what he does is Alaric then says, okay, fine, I'll take it. And as soon as Stilicho turns his back, he then turns and tries to invade Verona. Verona's right here. And I think Milan. Oh, is Milan even on this map? It's not. I think Milan is somewhere in this range here. Um, so Stilicho turns around and smacks him across the face again. And this time he becomes a vassal to Honorius. Alaric has been given so many second chances. I'm sitting here going, why? Why? How could you possibly let someone like this go? Now, I will point this out. I don't really know when because I didn't really care so much when this was happening. Eventually, Alaric becomes crowned king of the Vandals. I'm sorry, not the Vandals. I'm sorry, Vandals. Good lord. I think it's because I clicked on one of these guys. He becomes king of the Visigoths. So that might be the reason. I don't really know. I didn't look too much into why or what the logic was behind that. But I do know for a fact that he did actually eventually become a vassal of Honorius. And in return, Alaric would actually assist in taking land back from the Eastern Roman Empire because he had a relationship with the Eastern Romans. Alright, let's see here. Ooh, defense recovery. So let's stop real quick. So let's actually get back to the game here real fast. So this is remember, this is all within just a few years of Honorius becoming emperor. And it's bad. This is bad already. He's only like, what, 13, 14 years old right now, and he's already had 2 rebellions. One minor one that ended funnily, and one that ended horribly. And by the way, this cost a lot of people. Like these wars were not cheap or easy. Even though Stilicho beat the living crap out of him, beat the living crap out of Alaric, this is a lot of people that are being put down. And by the way, like, by this point, the Visigoths have actually kind of integrated into Roman society. This doesn't come without a cost. Taskmaster, landowner, so agriculture, and relentless attacker. And I think that's one of the reasons why Stilicho didn't kill him, because Stilicho himself did not want to piss off all the Goths that they used, because again, Goths were used as border troops. I need to find a place that without a leader that has a lot of food, so I can get some money off that. Let's see, Tarconesus. That's got a lot of food. Let's see, Carthagenesis. Do I have anything Carthagenesis? Average. Rich. Ooh, but I don't have anything here. Okay. And we haven't even gotten to the part where like crap really hits the fan. That's the crazy part. You think this is bad now? Just you wait. We're not even there yet. We're not even there. This is the precursor to everything. Oh, I think the ending date for this is around 403 A.D. So again, like he started reigning in, what was it? Let's go back to my notes here. He started reigning in 395, and in 10 years he's had two rebellions. And by the way, they're both major rebellions. Just one of them didn't cost much blood. The other one did. And let's begin moving this army north. Let's take Toledo. Let's go get Toledo going on the roll. And now there are other things that I'm not covering, and I chose not to cover them because they did not seem like they were worth it. But if you notice so far, Honorius has very little to do with even his own empire. He hasn't done much with it, and he's not going to do much with it. He spends all of his time in his capital. Now, eventually, Honorius moves the capital from Milan, because it's freaking besieged every other day, and moves it to Ravenna. And this is where all future Western Roman emperors reside. Every single one of them live in Ravenna, because Rome is useless to them. It is no longer strategic. It no longer produces anything of value. It is just simply a figurehead space for the Roman Empire. Alright. Now the real shit begins. Sorry, real stuff. I apologize. Alright, let's repair those fields. I freaking hate these guys. I need to build an army here. Not gonna lie, I thought it would take me longer to go through all these notes too. And yeah, but there are some things I did not want to cover because they are boring. And there's a lot of political intrigue later on in everybody's lives here. But the real big one right now is just setting up who these characters are. So, as I said, Stilicho is, in my opinion, probably the good guy of this story. And we all know how good guy stories end. You are governor. So let's see here. Can I give you anything? No. Do you need public order? You do need public order. Okay, hold on. Time out. That's not what I wanted. What am I doing? There we go. Public order plus 2. Plus 4. Public order plus 5. That'll work. Ugh. 44%. At least it's lower than 50. Let's see what else we can do here before we end this turn. I really need to not be focusing so much on gaining money as much as I need to be focusing on gaining armies. I've really got to start focusing on gaining armies because this is not going to work. I can't hold back the tide with only a few armies. As much as I love to have massive incomes, those days need to come to an end very quickly. Even though I would like to keep, I need to keep working on my infrastructure and keep working on keeping people happy, this needs to stop. I can't keep doing that. I didn't get dates for the next one. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Let me look this up real quick. The Vikings are coming. Let's see if we can stop them here. I doubt it. Ooh, hello. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right. Whoa, what the heck? Sort of a bunch of crap just break. Okay. So this is going to be this could be a very difficult fight or a very simple fight. It's kind of hard to tell right now. So next we get into our next major rebellion. It's fun, right? Just another rebellion against the young king / emperor Honorius. So another Gothic king rises up out of freaking nowhere. He literally, they don't know where he came from, and his name was Radagasius. And he pops up around 405 AD, so 2 years after the ending of Alaric. I'll say ending. 2 years after Alaric is defeated and forced to become politely requested to become a vassal. And of course he agrees because death is not preferable to just being given a military dictatorship and a lot of stuff. So of course he took it. So Radagasius just stops up and just pops up out of nowhere. And what he vows to do is he vows to sacrifice the Roman Senate and the aristocracy and the emperor to pagan gods. Now, you can imagine right now, this does not sit well with the Roman aristocracy or these lovely, because now Rome is now Christianized. Ever since Emperor Constantine, Rome has now adopted Christianity. So you can imagine that being threatened with not only, sacrifice, but being sacrificed to pagan gods, it didn't really sit well with people. Made them feel very, 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 very uncomfortable. And so what he does is he starts basically burning and pillaging, I think, Gaul and northern Italy. And he's got about 20,000 men, and he brings a bunch of civilians with him. Well, you know what? With the Roman Senate, the way that it was, I mean, I kind of can't blame you. I really think that Tiberius hit the nail on the head whenever he describes the Roman Senate. But he shows up, starts butchering people. So Stilicho shows up with his armies and goes, "Okay, you want to fight? Let's fight," and just slaughters them. So Radagasius only has got about 20,000 men, and he's got about 100,000 people in total. So 70,000 of the people that are with him are not even combatants, and Stilicho kills almost all of them. Sorry, not all of them. He kills a lot of them, to where basically it's such a massive butchery that all of Radagasius's men join Stilicho. Now, this is where stuff gets crazy. So, all of them. Now, think about this. So, 8,000 were left. He killed at least 8,000 because 12,000 joined the side of Stilicho, right? Now, he's got 70,000 other people to deal with. I'm sorry, 80,000 other people to deal with, right? He sells every single one of them into slavery. 80,000 people are then put into slavery. Whoa. Whoa. Now, I mean, not only is that kind of like an endeavor in and of itself, what do we know about economics when you just flood the market with crap? Oh, jeez. His single act collapsed the entire slave market. His act of enslaving 80,000 people completely destroys the slave trade for a little while. Now, I tried to figure out how long. I wanted to see how long the slave trade was destroyed for, but it just says for a time. Like, that's all I can really say, is that it completely destroyed the value of slaves in the Western Roman Empire. Now, I laugh at that, and it's still awful, but holy crap, you were so effective, and you wanted to prove a point. And my reasoning for this, and again, this is now me thinking and initiating, or sorry, putting a intent behind Stilicho. My guess is because they were Christians, they thought that, oh crap. Because they were Christians, they didn't want to just outright butcher 80,000 women and children. So they probably just thought the next best thing was, putting them under the heel of Romans. That's my guess. I don't really know, but that's what if I was a betting man, I would probably say that it would look bad to butcher 80,000 Goths, one for political reasons and two for practical reasons of just and practical reasons, political reasons, and religious reasons. It just wouldn't be a good idea. Crap. I know. I because I'm telling this story, I'm also not doing very well here. So this ends at about 406. I don't really know what month or anything. And now begins, and as soon as that's over with, actually no, I'm sorry, before that's even done, we have our next major rebellion. In 406, Roman Britain is in revolt. They are terrified of all the Goths and all the Vandals and the Sueves and a bunch of other, I can't remember all the different tribes off the top of my head. I didn't write them down, and I'm not going to go looking for them. They're terrified of all these barbarians at the Roman doorstep. They don't know what to do. They are separated from Rome, and they're the furthest thing from Rome, and they're a little island, and they're surrounded by nothing but barbarians because it's Britain. There is no civilization here yet, like, not really, and it's the newest territory for the West. So they decide that Rome is not answering their problems. So in 406, the Romano-Briton army decides that it's going to name a new emperor, Emperor Marcus. And in traditional Roman fashion, he is emperor for about a month, and then they kill him. So then in October, so this is July. In July 406, he's actually emperor till October. So in July 406, they name Marcus emperor. In October 406, they kill him and put up Gratian. and he's made emperor of Roman Britain. And in Roman fashion, they kill him in February 407. Gratian is killed by his army again. And in 407, they name Constantine III the new emperor of Roman Britain. So we already know that these people are very Roman, because only Romans go through emperors that fast. There's no way in hell that any other nation would go through emperors as fast as the Romans do. It's not even been a year, and they're on Emperor 3. It's fantastic. I love it. And Constantine III is actually, he's not bad. But the issue that got Gratian killed that we suspect is because the Roman army wanted to invade Gaul. And we'll look at that in just a second. Now, the one thing that I don't like about Attila is that, you know, all these Vikings that are coming through, yeah, they don't exist yet. These Viking peoples, they don't exist in this time frame yet. They never show up here. So the fact that they exist here is kind of dumb. Like, if anything, they're here very, very late in the game. So this is a siege battle. Okay. Now, Gratian, whenever he was offered the opportunity to invade Gaul, he said no. At least that's the alleged story that we are told. We don't really know why they killed him. We just know that he did not do something that the army liked. He did not do something that the army wanted to do, and unfortunately, that's the way that most Roman emperors worked, is that you had to bribe and get the army on your side. Otherwise, they'd kill you. So the fact that he was actually brave enough to stand up against the army probably means he would have made a pretty good emperor, because he probably would have focused on Romano Britain instead of just going out and going to war with Gaul. I don't know why the Roman army wanted to go to war with Gaul, or go to war with the Western Roman Empire and seize parts of Gaul, especially since that's where the threats were coming from. I didn't really have an opportunity to do much digging on that, but I also didn't think it was that important. All that matters is the fact that they did, and he didn't do it. So Constantine III, being a practical and pragmatic soldier, realizes that, hey, these people want to go to war with Gaul. So what does he do? He invades Gaul. In 407. But when he does this, he takes all of the Roman soldiers, or at least the vast majority of them, with him. Now, just like I said before, Romano Britain is surrounded by barbarians. And you just took out all the Roman soldiers from Romano Britain. Does anyone see what 2 and 2 equals yet? And this actually, unfortunately, marks the end of the Western Roman Empire's grip on Britain. Even though the long-lasting effects of Rome on Britain definitely are felt way later. So, whenever he arrives in Gaul, though, actually, some of the legions actually vow to be on his side. And so he actually manages to start taking pieces of Gaul without a fight. Nothing at all. So much so that even parts of Hispania, or modern-day Spain, begin to start turning for Constantine. And the first question we have to ask is, well, why? And most people will go, well, that's a stupid idea. Well, let's back up. Well, who's the current emperor of the Western Roman Empire? And who is Constantine? Well, Constantine is just a soldier. That's all he is. He's just a regular soldier. He's actually a normal guy that the army elected. He's nothing special. I want to even say he's part barbarian. Like, he has blood ties to barbarians, if I'm not mistaken. So why was he special? And the answer is because he's a soldier. And Romans have a very, very, very acute idea of what a Roman emperor should be like, and that is not Honorius, but it is Constantine. So you have a lot of these barbarians mixed in with Romans in the north, like in Gaul and Hispania, and they're more than happy to go over to Constantine, right? Now, Stilicho, unfortunately, at this point in time, is having a bit of a problem. He has rebellions popping up all over the place. Not only in Roman Britain, not only in Gaul, not only in Spain, but now Alaric the First rears his freaking head again. And now things are getting really bad for Stilicho. Because while Stilicho's been going around putting down all these little rebellions for this entire time that we've been talking about, those two major rebellions, those aren't the only ones he had to deal with. He had to deal with a bunch more, but they were all smaller and not that big of a deal. The big ones are the ones that I wanted to focus on. But while Stilicho's been gone, the court has been turning against him. So much so that they're trying to convince Honorius to get rid of him. Now, Stilicho realizes this, and what he attempts to do, and I don't forget when, but he actually marries his daughter Maria to Honorius, hoping that this would actually strengthen the ties between his family line and the emperor. He also did this so that his grandchild would be the emperor one day, or at the very least, tied to the imperial family, bring his family up in the world. Honorius agrees to marry his daughter, but they, as far as I know, they never had any children, and I don't think he ever does have children. So far, he thinks he's okay, but a lovely man called Olympianus, one of the advisors to the emperor, begins to tell him that Stilicho is plotting to overthrow him and install himself as emperor. Because, after all, who ran the empire for years and years and years whenever Honorius couldn't do it? The answer is Stilicho. Oh, but also, what did Stilicho do? He implanted his own child in the second most powerful position that he could find, the wife of the emperor. And now, you have multiple rebellions, and now King Alaric pops his head back up, and he is coming to invade Rome again. Now, Stilicho, being a wise person, decides that, hey, we can't be having this. We got too many wars on too many fronts. We need to make Alaric go away. And so he does, against the counsel of the imperial court in Ravenna. The imperial court had enough of Stilicho now. They're done with him. They are absolutely done with everything that Stilicho is doing. And they decide to start putting into motion the plot to get rid of him. So right now, Stilicho then moves north to begin dealing with Constantine. He never makes it. Honorius orders that his father-in-law be captured and executed for treason. His father-in-law, his guardian, his most trusted general, and Honorius orders him to be executed along with his son in 410 AD. Yeah. Now, before this happens, and I tell you that story because this is what's going to put together the rest of it. Before this happens, in 408, because of how much power Constantine III... I'm sorry, no, that's not 410. I'm sorry, that's not 410. That's before 410. 410 is something else. We'll get into that in a little bit. In 408 AD, Constantine III is doing so well in his rebellion, Honorius had already killed Stilicho and his son. But because Constantine III had done so well in his rebellion, Honorius has no choice but to actually give him emperorship, see him as co-emperor. Now, here's a problem when you're running an empire. Oh, snaps, I wasn't even paying attention. Jeez, I wasn't even paying attention to that. So in 408, So now, geez, now I've got myself all mixed up with my time frames. So at 408, Constantine is recognized as the co-emperor of the Western Roman Empire because he had already killed his best general, and everyone else around him is freaking inept and awful. And all they care about is their position and power. And Honorius, not being a military man, has no idea how to deal with all the rebellions popping up. He doesn't know what to do. And so, like an idiot, he of course surrounds himself with people that do nothing but tell him that he's great and amazing and awesome, so that the people around him can be, basically just be clingers on. Now, there is some good that came around out of this. Constantine III was not an idiot. He's actually relatively pretty competent and effective. Now, this is a little side note. It doesn't really deal with Honorius, but because Olympianus was able to actually convince Honorius to kill Stilicho, a general they all knew. Like, don't get me wrong, everybody knew who Stilicho was. Stilicho's name was feared. Like, when he came running at your doorstep, you ran. Like, you don't mess with him unless you wanted to die, which had proven for almost everybody except Alaric. For some reason, Alaric gets away with everything. I don't know why he's the favored Gothic child. But he is. I mean, I don't know why they didn't sell him into slavery. I really don't know why. But, at the very least, I don't know why. But what he does is he actually... he gets a hold of Olympianus. So Constantine III, after getting a hold of Olympianus, has him clubbed to death. Because, you get your comeuppance every now and again. Now, Constantine has another problem. Now that he's co-emperor, he has to deal with more rebellions popping up in Gaul and Spain. This is not working. This co-emperor thing is not working. Honorius is bad. Constantine can't keep control of anything. And now, Honorius doesn't really have any way of keeping control of everybody. And Honorius isn't really happy about sharing the emperorship with Constantine. So what does he do? He has a new general pop up, Constantius III. Not to be, this is where things get really weird, because the names are going to start to get really, really, really janky here. So Constantius, along with, I think, Constans, go and fight Constantine. You can't make this up. And so, basically, Constantine III decides, I can't control Gaul, I will invade Italy. Because that worked out for everyone else so far. So now Constantius III sees his opportunity to essentially take care of Constantine III. So Constantius III sees his opportunity to take care of Constantine III. He besieges Constantine in... he besieges Constantine in one of his villages, finds him, and then actually Constantine, hoping that he would be left alive, with, just because at this time he actually takes holy orders and becomes a monk. He hopes that he's left alive, but we all know better. Constantius actually beheads the guy. Now, this marks the end of Roman rule. Rome never returns to Britain after this. Never does. At this point, actually, because there are no Romans, essentially no Roman soldiers, no Roman garrison left in Britain, this is the end of Roman rule in Britain. Now, another interesting part is that Constantius, jeez, good lord, he marries Honorius' sister. Honorius' sister does not like this at all. She does not like Constantius at all. Now, I couldn't really find much more about that, but what we do know is the official record says that she was not a fan of this guy, and probably for good reason. It sounds like, based on the way that he acted in certain cases, he's probably kind of a dick. But this isn't his story. This is Honorius' story. His story comes later. Now, oh, come on, don't break. Now, another interesting thing comes up, and again, Honorius is pretty much not a great person. He's not a his real crime is just being inept. He's not very good at what he does. Oh, credit! I didn't write it down. I completely forgot. Before this, Honorius's brother Arcadius is dead now. He lasted a lot less time than Honorius, and Honorius doesn't last much longer from here either. Uh, but before we get to that, we have a very important thing that happens in history here. In 410 AD, Alaric, after learning of the death of Stilicho, decides now is the time for him to strike. And he is the first person to sack Rome in 800 years under the reign of Honorius. That is a massive, massive issue for the Roman world, even for the Eastern Romans. This shows weakness, and that's why we talked about all those different rebellions popping up. And again, I didn't want to go over each one of them individually because it's kind of hard to put the timeline in order. Because around the time of 407 to 410, actually even 412. Just through this entire point, there is just rebellion after rebellion after rebellion after rebellion after rebellion, and it never ends. It's this never-ending stream of new emperors popping up and then being deposed immediately, new rebellions popping up then being put down immediately. They came and went so fast in certain instances. I was like, do I even want to talk about these? Do I want to discuss these? It's that bad. Honorius's reign was so inept that he could not keep control of anybody, and nobody had any faith in him. And based on what I read about him, for good freaking reason, he's a kid that was born into wealth, and just destroyed everything he touched because he didn't know any better. He just did not know any better, and the people around him were utter trash. What I can tell you is that after his brother dies, I believe his brother has a son named Theodosius the First, or sorry, just Theodosius Theodosius the First, second. I can't. Well, we'll get to him. We'll get to him if we do the Eastern Romans, and they're not a really big fan of Constantius either. They don't like him. They really don't like him, and they don't even like Constantine the Third either. Whenever he proclaims himself emperor, and they name him to be co-emperor. They didn't like that either. They actually didn't even, not so much so that whenever they named Constantine III the co-emperor, they said, no, you don't. No, you don't. We don't recognize him. We only recognize Honorius. So again, Honorius kills his best general, and a few years later, Rome is sacked because of that general's no longer being here. Man, I'm sorry if I keep bombing the mic. Now, we're getting near the end of Honorius' life. But before, there's one more really important piece that I have to go over this evening before I call the end of the history lesson, because there's a lot of stuff that has happened, but there's one thing that I gotta talk about, and it's kind of weird. So, I don't really have a date for this, but were rumors that Honorius was creeping on his half sister. That he's married and he's trying to get jiggy with his half sister. Now, I'm not sure how true that is, but knowing Roman emperors, but especially with someone like Honorius, it just seems like that fits. You know what I'm saying? It just seems like that would be something that he would do. Not because I don't like him at all, which I don't, but because when you are surrounded by nothing but yes men, and you are surrounded by nothing but basically a bunch of royalty, for some reason my mind goes, yeah, you're royalty. You're probably inbred in some way. And I hate to be that way about it, but that's my first instinct. Is that they're inbred in some way. Oh, and I forgot to add one little apocryphal story before we get to the end here. Say apocryphal. Allegedly, now this doesn't seem in character for almost any Roman emperor. Allegedly, when Honorius found out that Rome had been sacked, he actually seemed really, really upset. And as you should. Your empire is being, the proverbial seat of your power is being eroded. And what it was is that he had a chicken named Rome. And when someone said, "Hey, Rome is gone," his response was, "But it was just eating out of my hand just earlier today." And confused, they said, no, 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 sir, the city of Rome." And he just said, "Oh, okay, well, that's not as bad as I thought." Now, Honorius wasn't really popular, so I don't believe that story is true. Now, I have no basis for that. I don't believe that story. I just don't. I think that was a story that somebody wrote down because they really didn't like Honorius, and I can see why you don't like Honorius. The kid was useless in every sense of the word, but I don't believe he was uncaring when an entire city of his people were essentially butchered. I'm sorry, butchered. The sacking of Rome wasn't that bad. In reality, the sacking of Rome was actually relatively tame when it comes to sackings go. They left most of the churches alone. They left a lot of the royal icons. Let's say royal. A lot of the religious icons alone. So they may have sacked the city, but they really didn't do much damage to it. They burned a lot of the civilian population to the ground, but they didn't actually destroy like the really big icons of it. Either way it goes, it was still sacked. So those are those. I forgot I added those at the end because I was like, I gotta talk about this. So in 423, Honorius finally dies of edema. Now, I'm not familiar with edema, and I'm not a medical expert, so I had to look this up. Now, edema, the most common one that I saw was swelling of some kind. Kind of like if you saw, is it Game of Thrones that did this? Where, like, one of the guys has a disease where basically, like, it's like your body fills up with, like, water, or you swell up all the time to where it's just everything looks, like, puffy and awful and disgusting. That's what he had. There's different kinds of edema, and I tried finding out maybe if like what kind of edema he had. I was unlucky. I did not find what kind of edema he had. He just had edema and he died. Basically, that's really the story of Honorius, and it's really sad because Honorius' story isn't really even about Honorius. It's about all the people that prop him up. And that's the most disgusting thing I find about him as a character. As an emperor. He was useless, but even useless people are more useful than him. He was just simply there, and everybody did stuff for him. I can't find a single piece of evidence that showed he did anything useful as emperor. He never led any battles. He never instigated anything that was positive for the empire. He just simply let other people that were better than him do his job for him. Now, I'm not really familiar with this time period. I had to do lots of research this week to try and figure stuff out. I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff that I missed, but even the stuff that I cut out, I didn't cut out anything in order to make him look bad. I just simply couldn't find anything that made him look good. That's how bad he was. And under his reign, he saw Romano Britain fall to the ground. He saw more freaking rebellions than anyone else. His lackadaisical nature led people to literally spread stories about him, about how useless he was and how much he didn't care, which all by itself tells me a lot. I mean, even if your own, like, historians are telling people that, hey, when the holy city of Rome burns, he doesn't care. That's bad. That's really bad. Jeez. But that is how bad this guy was. It wasn't the fact that he went out and about and murdered people like some of the other Roman emperors did. It's not that he was just really bad at administration. It's just that he didn't bother to do any of it. And crap, this place is going to fall, isn't it? Crap. Yeah, this place is going to fall. And then when he dies, he puts, I believe, somebody named Joanna on the throne. And they last months at best, but we're not going to get into them tonight. I really wanted to focus on Honorius right now, since he is the first Western Roman emperor. And the crazy part is that he never really had to pay for many of his issues. It really is a story of absolute incompetence, and he's not the only one. I don't think Arcadius is much better. However, because of the Eastern Roman Empire and the way that it built itself, um, this side I know a little bit more about. The Eastern Roman Empire eventually becomes the Byzantine Empire, but the way that they did this was a bit different. They didn't have all the problems the West had.
They made ready for war. The world had fallen into shadow. The earth grew cold, and the wind whispered of death. And I beheld a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of scales in his hand. Attila was born. All knelt before him, for they knew he would devour the earth and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. Attila was born from darkness and despair.
Now there is oh, no problem. But I'm not done yet actually. For the Honorius' story, we are done. But I did want to go over one thing real quick, and I'm really glad that actually happened. So one of the things that I kept asking was, and actually from what I can read online, a lot of people don't know why the Goths kept invading the Roman Empire. But not just the Goths, the Alans, the Goths, the Sueves, all these different groups. This is called the migratory period in history that we don't really think about. And we don't really know why they came. Oh, sorry. People don't know why these people came into Rome. They just think, oh, they just kind of rebelled, right? They just randomly rebelled. It's like, well, no, they didn't. Most of Gaul had Romanized at this point. Most of Hispania or Spain had Romanized. Even Britain had Romanized to an extent. So why did they keep rebelling? And the answer is the Goths came in. Well, why did the Goths come in? This people called the Huns popped up. Way. Oh, I can't go over there. God dang it. Let's see. Let's block that promotion. Way over here somewhere. The Huns pop up. And we will get to them eventually, although I think that we'll be fighting the Huns officially a lot sooner than we will actually be dealing with, or a lot sooner than we'll get to them. But I found it interesting, and I was hoping to kind of tease that out a little bit more. But it's interesting that the Huns, which pushed the Goths and everybody else towards the Western Roman Empire, also come to the Western Roman Empire. So it's very interesting because the Western Roman Empire doesn't really know what to do with them. And this is one of the reasons why I said before, like with any empire, especially an empire that's in bad shape, if they... Wow, hold on. Harridan. I don't know who... I didn't really pay attention because that was supposed to be Maria. Oh, there she is. Maria. There we go. See? Maria. Ah! I was like, Harridan. I don't know what Harridan is. Chance of having illegitimate children rises by 20%. That sucks. I don't think they ever have any kids. He never does. I don't know if he was a torturer either. I believe he was respectful. Nowhere do I hear that Honorius was a bad person, like just a mean-spirited person, but I don't think he was a torturer. That may just be something they put in the game. I don't know. Alright, let's see here. What do I want to put for you? Zeal, I would like some power behind some of these moves that we're doing. But yeah, no, it's interesting to me that the Huns... Yes, there's a test, Ham. I need you to actually tell me what year the Goths invaded Milan. Go now. Now. You have 30 seconds. 30 seconds by my time. So by the time that you hear this, it'll be like 15 seconds left. Let's see here. We need more food. Oh, crap. Screw you then. My class is amazing. Yes, 1967. That was the answer I was looking for. I gotta go. I have to stop these guys from invading. These guys gotta go. Oh god dang it! Another rebellion. Ah, another friggin' rebellion. It's almost like Honorius is running this place. I don't know why these people shouldn't be unhappy. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed researching it and learning a little bit more myself. As I said, there is more stuff that happens, but those are the ones that I think are the most important that do happen. Um, that's the stuff that really kind of just sticks out to me is stuff that actually mattered. That doesn't mean that everything is exactly the way, like exactly perfect. I wanted to actually dramatize it a little bit more and actually spend more time making a story out of it because I love history. I absolutely adore reading history. I've got many, many different history books and philosophy books on my shelf that I just never really get a chance to read. Oh, these guys gotta go. Let's start building another army here. Oh yeah. But no, not that. I want this. No, I'm not actually. I will fail you for even broaching that. I'm an ass. I'm sorry. I'm a butt. I was about to say something really bad. They did win this fight. I'll get you next time, Spectre Gadget person. Here I am trying not to curse while I'm just cursing it all over the place. But yeah, so this is the dangers of professional useless people. They will destroy your empire. That's the story. Alright, let's see if we can kill these buggers. Barely. Okay, so I'm gonna have to be really careful how I fight these guys. I need more ranged units is what I need, or I need more protectores. And because he's got so many committed tenseis, this is the problem. Even if I pitch them in one-on-one fights and then get them in the back, which is which is the general plan, I gotta be careful because they got a lot of pokey from far away. But I can't have these guys just sitting on my doorstep like this. So I hope everybody enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I really wanted to keep doing more of these. Next time, hopefully sometime next week, I'll go over the next Western Roman Emperor. And here's the thing. The problem with that is the fact that I'm probably going to be able to do more than one. Because in traditional Roman fashion, they don't last long. The Western Roman emperors have a tendency to go kind of quick. Oh crap! They're in a freaking fort. I didn't even think about this. God dang it! No wonder I'm gonna. Okay, so I will probably lose this fight. So fort. I need to bring. Can I get? I don't want to concede defeat. Let's just throw ourselves and bloody our hands. But yeah, no, so I think the biggest thing that got me was the fact that Stilicho is actually remembered in history, which I'd never heard of, but there's actually a lot of love that the Roman people had for him because they all know who actually kept the empire safe, and it wasn't Honorius. Well, first I gotta get my damn chickens. Darn chickens. God dang it. You got me cursing now. History's got me cursing. It's got me all excited about stuff. But I'm hoping next time I'll be able to do a little bit more of a story format and actually pad things out and actually tell a story versus just kind of halfway read a story. I really, really, really wanted to get more involved with the history side of it and to tell the story of what was going on, but I'm not going to lie, I hurt myself this week and it kind of ruined my prep. It really ruined my prep this week. So I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to do more with it because I really, really, really want to be able to tell stories whenever I teach history. When I talk about history. I know Cab probably doesn't give a crap. Or sorry, Ham doesn't give a crap. But I love me some history. Let's get you guys running. wonder. Actually, let's find out how long Honorius' successor lasts. I don't think it's long. I think it's super short. Like I think it's a few months at best. Okay, let's turn this back. Yeah, there we go. And now I also know how long it takes to go through one of these. So now that I've got that down, I can actually kind of gauge what like how much I need to prep for. So that gave me about an hour and a half. So we need to do more next time, which I'm fine with. I'm more than happy to keep going by more. I just thought that'd be enough to like pad out 2 hours or so, which I was a bit short, about an hour and a half now. So yeah, I was off by half an hour. It's not horribly bad for my first shot, especially if I'm doing this live. And part of my prep was not completed. So yeah, it's Joannis. That's what it is. Joannis or John, depending upon the translation. And he lasted a total of 2 years. 2 years total. Make sure I'm reading this. Yeah, 2 years total. But we'll get into him next time. Wait, why are you? No, I didn't. What do you? No, why are my freaking skirmishers charging in there? That's just dumb. Oh, come on. But yeah, the fact that he saw so many rebellions and did nothing about them himself, I think that was one of the things that kind of sealed his fate as being, not liked and loved by anybody, because just that's not what Romans did. Romans love their warriors. They love their warriors. So to have a emperor who wasn't a warrior, although at this point in time, I mean, we have to remember, Augustus Caesar was not a warrior. He was a politician. Which is why he was, well, we'll get into him a little bit later too, but I don't like Augustus. I think Augustus was a terrible piece of crap. I know that a lot of people will say, but he's the best Roman emperor. He lasted the longest. Like, yeah, but he was also smart enough not to call himself emperor. Now, Tiberius, on the other hand, different story, but I love me some Tiberius. Tiberius is awesome. Not a very nice person, but at least he's honest about it. Can I burn that? Let's burn that. Let's get all my cavalry over here, just like my original plan was. Let's get these guys going. I need to get all these guys in position. So as I said, I hope everybody enjoyed that. I'd love some feedback, though. I'd love to hear what people think about it, and actually, what else they want to hear. Because right now, I just plan to go through the Western Roman emperors. We can go into more of the political situation, the economic situation. Because during Honorius' time, they did a lot of really stupid crap. A lot of stupid crap that we're doing too, but they did a lot of stupid crap with their economies as well. But again, I really can't get over the fact that. One major battle, along with enslaving 80,000 people, crashed the entire slave trade in the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, the full empire. 80,000 new slaves just came in. It was like, boop, nope, we're done. It's like we can't do this anymore. Okay, that's burned. All right. Come on, get my crud. This is not gonna work. I just crashed my cavalry into a bunch of freaking spearmen. I'm in trouble. Right, I need to pull you guys back. So then maybe I'll move you guys around here. Palatine, this cohorts. Let's move you guys around the side. I need you guys to not be in combat right now, and I need you guys to move out and over. And I just threw my freaking... Oh, God dang it. I need to get my soldiers. Push in. Push, 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 push. Why do you have power to the ores? Throw stuff at that. Burn that to the ground. I love history. I absolutely love history. If people like it and they want to hear more about it, what I plan to do is after I'm done with the Roman section, which will take me forever and a day, and it probably will take me a very long time, because the rise of Rome is far more interesting to me. The fall of Rome is a myriad of issues, but a lot of it just comes down to mismanagement, and really it comes down to greed, nepotism, laziness, and indolence. That is all it is. That is what killed the empire. If you want to be really honest about it, you want to be really brutal about it, it wasn't one thing, it was all those things. Because an entire nation can withstand all the things that this thing just went through. What it can't stand is it can't stand all those things at once. And it had that over hundreds of years. And it kept getting it, and kept getting it, and kept getting it, and kept getting it, until finally there was nothing left. And I would say that in reality, if you want to be really honest about it, I think that Honorius was the last real emperor that the West had. Because at this point, like past this, there are no good emperors for the West. None. They all collapse. They all are just ineffectual and bad. Because they are used to being coddled, and they have no idea what it means to actually win a fight. They don't know what to do with themselves. They're just a waste of space. And they are taught this lesson over and over and over again. And by the time they even get a freaking chance to learn it, it's too late. Like, Honorius had an opportunity to learn this lesson multiple times, and he should have. And he didn't. And he didn't want to. And that's really what it comes down to, is that he didn't want to. He wanted to rely on other people to do things for him. Which, by the way, I'm going to get pissed off now. Let's be real about this for 5 minutes. This sets up the way that, like, royal courts are run in Europe for a long time. So, like, remember what I talked about with Olympianus, whenever he started manipulating the king, or sorry, manipulating the emperor? Guess what? This mirrors a lot of European courts, European medieval courts. This issue carries over into the Dark Ages. It's the same problem over and over and over again, except this time you've got barbarians and Romans. Exactly. The fact that he ordered the death of his father-in-law, who did nothing but save his sorry butt, over and over and over again. That part is just, I mean, unforgivable in my mind. Now, I'm not saying Stilicho is like a bastion of amazingness, but good God, that man is the only reason your empire lasted this long. Had he not existed, Honorius would never have made it even to at any point in time. He just wouldn't have made it. Man, if I win this, it'll be by luck, not by skill of any kind. No, you attack them. And the fact that he was creeping on his half-sister is kind of weird. Oh, and I forgot to mention, his half-sister got so creeped out about it, and this is factual. His half-sister got so creeped out of his advances, she actually fled to the Eastern Roman Empire and sought protection from Theodosius, or not from, under Theodosius, the successor to the Eastern Roman Empire under his brother Arcadius. That's how bad it got. That's factual. We don't know why she left per se. We just know that she felt extremely uncomfortable around him, and the official reason given was that he was creeping on her. Yeah, I lost this fight. God dang it. But I severely damaged this camp, which I guess in its own way is a victory. I just wish that I had grabbed siege equipment. I didn't even think about the actual... If this was a straight up, like a fight, I think I probably would have won. But because there was watchtowers and there was walls I had to go around, I was kind of funneled in one area. Look at all this death. Look at all this blood. Look at all this. Just bodies everywhere. All these good Romans. All gone. Yeah, Roman emperors traditionally had some kind of military service, and just like in the case of almost every other one of them that didn't have military service, they all turned into just absolute children given unlimited power. And so, of course, like all children given absolute power, they either become completely useless or they can become tyrants. Hey, somebody's not gone yet? Oh wow, these guys haven't broken yet. Yeah boy, let's do it. But it seems that I need to prepare more next time. That's the lesson that I'm learning this time, is that if I want to stream this and do it longer, I need to prep more stuff, which is good information. That's good stuff for me to learn. But at least Honorius left us with a fantastic tradition of starting Gothic wars. Because I think there's like 3 or 4 that actually happen. Alright, I'm gonna just, let's see, Taskmaster, let's just drop you in Verona, if I can. Can I push you in Verona? No, I can't. Oh, 5 turns, that's way too many turns. 4 turns, jeez! Oh my gosh, am I in Roman territory? No, I'm in Venetia territory. Okay, well, whatever. But yeah, I need to pad out and not pad out. I need to do more information next time. So next time we'll get into the different Roman emperors after Honorius. But I'm probably gonna have to burn through a few of them. Now at the end of it, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll start on the Eastern Roman emperors, because the Eastern Roman Empire went in a completely different direction and actually succeeded where the West failed. That's one of the things that is extremely important to remember, is that the East, because they didn't have enemies all over the place, and they did have enemies. They definitely did have enemies. It was the rise of Islam that got them down. Because the entire time that the East and the West have existed, when they came into contact with Persia, Persia was the thing that just would not leave them alone. The West and the East, sorry, whenever there was a united empire, the East and the West, dang it, let me get this straight. When there was a united empire, they all had to deal with Persia, and Persia just would not leave them alone, even after the empire was split. And all of this crap happened all because of Rufinus. I'll say all of it. All because Rufinus convinced Arcadius and Honorius that they had to split the empire. I don't know why you would do that. I get the fact that people say that, oh, it was too hard to manage. Like, dude, okay, fine. Maybe it was too hard to manage, but for the love of God, it wasn't that hard to manage, because obviously they'd done it for 1,000 years. Let's just be real. It wasn't that hard. It wasn't hard enough to the point where you couldn't do it. It may have been hard work, which they may have been deathly allergic to. That's a possibility. But it's not like they didn't know what they were doing. Like, let's be real. Like, these people were educated, highly educated. These people were not stupid. Honorius and Arcadius both were not dumb. They were lazy. We can pretend that they had lots of little things here. No. These people were not dumb. They were given the best education money could buy because they owned everything. Hell, the fact that he had a consulate position at the age of less than 2 years old, tells me everything I need to know about him. He has a silver spoon in his mouth for his entire life. And so he didn't know how to deal with anything. Let's see. I need a spy. Spy. Do I have a spy? I don't have a spy. I do have an army, though. Let's get rid of you. Let's just kill you before you become a problem. And just kill you. Let's just get you out of there. And you are going to close down that gap with these guys. Oof, y'all are hurt, but you're not hurt that bad. So I'm going to... Can I drop you off? How much movement do you have left? But eventually what I'd like to do is I'd like to... well, let's do that, and let's do that. Is if we get far enough, and if people actually like it, I'd like to play Shogun 2, and we'll go over the different shoguns, and we'll go over the Boshin War. I love the Boshin War. It's not a very well-known war, but it's a really interesting time in world history. It's whenever Japan starts really opening up trade with the West, and a civil war happens where the imperial court of Japan and the shogun go to war. it doesn't last very long, and it's actually not really that interesting of a war because it's mostly political, but there are lots of fights involved. But the amount of hardware that the Portuguese, the French, the British, and the Americans just dump into Japan is insane. And they start moving some real hardware. It's pretty cool, actually. I say it's pretty cool. I think it's interesting, that time period. But for right now, we will discuss Rome. Let's see here. Let's do that. Do that. Okay. If I... some Germanic warbands. That's levies. Let's grab... oh, darn it, I don't want to do that. Let's get those guys. So these guys have been beaten up. I don't think I have the men to take these guys out, though. If with these guys, I probably do, but not with just one or the other. I need more soldiers. And those guys gotta go. Which is where you come in. Hopefully, yeah, it's gonna take me 3 turns to get that army, and then I can go take back that place. The fall of London. I still can't believe that Constantine took every single Roman soldier. Sorry, allegedly took every single Roman soldier. We don't know if he took every single one of them. But in the case of what we do know, we know that he did take a lot of the Roman soldiers out, leaving the Roman populace there completely undefended. Which doesn't end well. Because if you just had a brain for 5 minutes, you'd realize this is a bad decision. And if you're so terrified of barbarians, why would you freaking go meet the barbarians? It's just, I don't know. I just work here. I don't know. So now we can criticize the game, because now that we're here, I can criticize and say things that I wish the game was different on. So, one of the things that I really don't like about Attila, and it's just kind of the new system anyway, and I go back and forth on this because I both love and hate it. Attila and Rome 2, they introduced a new settlement system, and I was not a fan. I get why they did it, but it really, really hurt the game. And one of the things was the way that they do settlements. Instead of every settlement being their own little place that has walls and can be defended, and it's this big old battle, which is what Total War is known for and why it's so much fun, they get rid of that and replace it with one major city and like 2 or 3 little settlements each. Now, in many cases, this is a good decision. In many cases. It makes the gameplay go by a little bit faster, makes it a little bit easier to gain territory, but it also makes it horrendously easy to lose territory, and it makes it very difficult to defend. So once you take a settlement, it's really, really hard to keep said settlement unless you just wipe the board. So if you take out somebody and they've got a major army nearby, you're at a massive disadvantage. Because if you take a settlement out, cool, you just took a little settlement, and in exchange, you've just exposed your entire army to a massive problem. And in Rome 2, it's not so bad, but in Attila, no matter what faction I've played, this is a massive issue. It always comes back to bite me. Y'all aren't going to attack me from this way. I might as well move you back up. And I think that moving in that direction, I think Creative Assembly made a very bad decision moving in this direction. I think that I get why they did it. I understand what the purpose was. I think it was a bad decision. Now, granted, my dumb butt still bought this game knowing that it was going to be like that, so obviously it couldn't have been that bad, right? But When I finally get the extra bucks to buy Total War Remaster, I'll probably just be playing Rome Total War 1. The siege battles are a lot more fun, and it's a lot closer to Medieval 2, and they've actually upgraded a few things. And they allow you to play some factions that didn't exist originally, and that's gonna be fun. Alright, oh, y'all are winded. Let's not do that. If I can get more of these done, if I can find more time, I may even start substituting out more days where I do more Total War stuff so I can do more history. I guess I could technically do history whenever, but it just seems more relevant when I play this game since this is a historical piece. Let's just move here. Now, and I know I'm not going to win this fight. This fight I'm going to lose horribly, but I'm going to try and sell this place as steeply as I can. Because like everything else, this is all a holding action. This is not meant to win. I was hoping to get one of my armies up and running, but like every other Roman army in this time frame, it's expensive as hell and difficult. But if Honorius's time with it, oh, that was weird. If Honorius's time gives us anything, we should learn that hey, we shouldn't be lazy, we shouldn't be stupid, and more importantly, we shouldn't let a whole bunch of barbarians come into our front door and run our freaking military. That is, if there is a lesson we can learn, I would say it's that. At the very least, don't let people that aren't on your side run your armies. Because then you end up having to kowtow to them. Why? Because they don't care. Oh, man. Come on, guys. Come on. Just hold the line. I know. Why are they letting those guys be the general? Why not the cohorts? Oh, oh. Alright, I'm going to turn something off. There we go. It's better. Sorry, I was turning something off for my own mental health. That way it just stopped flashing at me and yelling at me. Stop burning my city, you buggers. Why are you burning my city? No! 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 I know, I would have run by now. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Make sure I'm not missing anything. Nope, that's pretty much it. I'm just surprised Alaric the First got away with so much as he did. I mean, that man's probably the luckiest guy in history, especially around this time frame. Like, remember, like, Romans, even now, Romans are still known to be a little mean. Like, you know, you don't just fight Romans. Like, Romans are pretty tough. Now, granted, at this time, a lot of it came down to poor management, like I said, and not, you know, and killing your leadership. That probably doesn't help. But it's weird to me that Alaric got off as much as he did. He was just allowed to just do whatever he wanted without almost any consequence. And that blows my mind that not once, not twice, but 3 times in this man's life, he's allowed to invade and put the Emperor's life in danger all 3 times, go back on agreements, and not be killed. That's insanity to me. I mean, you get 1 time with me, but good lord, if you actually betrayed me twice, there is no like, oh, I'm getting away with it this time. Like, I'll get you next time, Spider-Man. Like, no, you're dead. Especially if I'm the Emperor, I'd be like, no, this man dies. I don't care. This man could be anyone. I don't care who it is. Like, no, you're dead. And this guy got paydays from the East and the West and betrays both of them. How insane is that? Oh, by the way, they never really get any. So one of the agreements that they had with Alaric is to help them get some of their land back from the East, because what the East had been doing is kind of using administrative like little rules and whatnot to kind of negotiate with the West, and because Honorius was so weak, apparently he let some of this happen, where just slowly but surely, like, you know, he let those provinces bleed away to the East. By the way, like, they're already hurting for money, and the East is going, give me more money, give me more stuff, give me more money, give me more stuff, and he allows it. Like, that's how weak of a leader Honorius was. It's just bad. I mean, at least when the British Empire gave up their empire, they realized they were giving up their empire. Like, they go, oh, we shouldn't really do that. It's probably bad. Like, maybe we shouldn't be enslaving people for, you know, stuff. You know, maybe that's a bad thing. I don't know. But that man is the luckiest. You're crazy like a fox. Yeah, I guess. I mean, obviously he did something right. He got 4,000 pounds of gold, I think, the first time that he invaded and was told to go away, and then got another 4,000 pounds later whenever Stilicho bribes him to go away, and then, without even raising a sword, his main enemy that beat the crap out of him on 4 separate occasions, who is known to beat the crap out of you in a vicious manner, he's killed by your main enemy. So then I mean, I don't even know. So what's Honorius's excuse? Good lord. I read it, I think about it, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, I read it and I go, this guy just won the lottery of being born at just the right place at just the right time, and I can't even imagine, like, what he was gonna do with it. Like, I mean, I don't even know how you could be so lucky. You beat the crap out of the East, or sorry, no, you go to the Eastern Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire says, hey guys, if you here, take this money, and if you want to go away, go away. And he goes, oh, okay, well then I'm gonna go west. And they go, that's fine, go for it, it's fine. And after having the crap kicked out of him, the East goes, hey, you know, it's okay, You know what we're gonna do? You did such a good job pissing in the face of our political rivals. We're gonna make you a general, and we're gonna give you a province so that you can have access to real resources, along with the protection and the name of the Eastern Roman Empire. I mean, dude, charisma, you rolled a 20, bruh. Like, you rolled a 20. How do you do that? How do you do that? I don't understand that. Like, and then afterwards, while still under the protection of the Eastern Roman Empire, invades the Western Roman Empire, and it doesn't cause a civil war. How? But Stilicho had to retreat, because if he had attacked Alaric, it would have caused a civil war. Holy crap. Just this man is one of the luckiest men in history, and I have no idea how he did it. I don't understand how he did it. And then he gets his main opponent killed by the very man he's saying. Jeez. The more I think about it, the more insane it becomes, because I don't even believe it when I'm saying it. It's insanity. I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. It's like Wile E. Coyote, but his stuff excels in a way that he doesn't even realize. Like, it's like he plants the explosives go off, blows him up at first, and then kills everybody around. It's weird. I don't even know. Oh man. Jeez. The fact that the Roman Britons killed their own emperor 3 times, that's even better. I mean, just in true Roman fashion, murder until you get the right one. Just, oh, you're king. Oh, well, I want to do this. Well, we don't like that. You're dead. like true Romans do. Alright, we're gonna wrap everything up tonight after this fight, which isn't gonna last very long because, you know, I'm outnumbered like 30 to 1. Yeah, I've got 140 versus 1,000, so 10 to 1. Oh no, don't take the Colosseum that is also now turned into a slum. Oh, another little. This is now more just a random piece of information because actually, I will say this: under Honorius, and I think I mentioned this last time, they actually banned the practice of gladiatorial games that involve blood. I think the hippodrome, the chariot races were still existing, but blood sports like gladiator games, that was banned under Honorius. So Honorius did, I guess, one good thing, and that was about it. And that was actually where the story of Telemachus comes in. Which, if anybody knows anything about Telemachus, he was the priest that allegedly jumped into the ring and said, "In the name of God, you need to stop this." And the gladiators killed him, and everything just kind of stopped. And Honorius was like appalled by this. There's like 4 or 5 different versions of the story. They all kind of end up differently, and they all say the events are different. But I completely forgot about that because I completely forgot. It's not a big issue to me because it's not a major event. It's just a small minor event that changed the way the entertainment happened. Not to say that chariot races weren't bloody. Chariot races were very bloody. Just not necessarily as surefire to be bloody as, you know, a gladiator game. Oh, another fight, huh? Let's see if we can survive this fight. Then we'll be done for the night. Hopefully. Yeah, I actually forget the story of Telemachus. I keep forgetting it. Even last time I was trying to remember it. I just could not remember it. But if I can, what I might end up doing. Whoa, hello. What I might end up doing is next time. What I might try to do is, let's put my lovely Onager here. I might try to see, or maybe go into more depth onto what some of the things that I didn't discuss about Honorius did. But the only problem is I think it's going to be kind of boring. Honorius he didn't really do a whole lot. He's kind of a waste of space. Professionally useless person. Not like my boy Tiberius, which does lots of cool stuff, like insults the Senate. That's my favorite. It's my favorite job he ever did was when he tells the Senate, they're like, "I know slaves that are more useful than you," which, you know, coming from a Roman general, that kind of says something. All right, mounted artillery and then barricades. Let's barricade here. Move you here. But yes, please, if anybody has any more feedback or would like to tell me what they liked or what they didn't like, what things that we can improve on, please let me know. I absolutely want to hear people's feedback on it so we can actually make it better. If they want me to just focus on the major battles, I can actually expand upon what actually happened at different fights. I thought about doing it, but as I was writing it, I was like, I actually want to get through it in one night. I don't want to spend multiple days on one event. Because some of the battles, again, I kind of skipped over how they were won or where they were fought, simply just to get to the juicy bits, to get the basic history down. But if people want to do that, or they want to do more of the economic stuff, like I can definitely add more of that in next time. All right, let's speed this part up because this is the skirmishing phase where we just shoot crap at each other until one of us gives up. Oh, y'all aren't coming to shore yet. Get on shore. I need you people. All right. Come here. Oh, crap. No. They punched through a hole. They punched through a hole. They punched a hole through. Alright, so they're probably going to charge in here. Alright, where are you shooting at? You're shooting here? Okay, that's fine. Shoot at the Onager. Oh, and if you want to leave that stuff in Twitter, that's fine. Actually, Ham, can you? Is Ham still here? I don't even know if he is. Yeah, he is. Ham, do me a favor. I need a favor, Ham. 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 Maybe I'll do it before we're done tonight. But I do have a Discord server that's now set up. We're not done putting it together. We still have little things going on with it. We're still putting together like all the things we're gonna do for it. However, even if you want to put stuff in there, I'll post a link in the chat in a little bit. If Ham can't do it. No, don't attack my general. Oh no. You can always reach me on Twitter. You can always just put it in the comments section or the about section. Or if once I get the Discord link in here, want to leave it there, that's fine too. I will be happy to read them. I am happy to read feedback so we can make this better. Come on, just charge in so I can smack you in the back with my freaking cavalry. Because that's the only way I'm winning this fight, is by breaking your morale, not by actually killing a bunch of you. And that may not work either, because they've already punched a hole here too. So I may have to go back this way, which I don't want to do. Now we're going all in. We're either defending here or we're falling. One of the two. We're not playing that game. We are either going to defend these walls or die on them. Are you guys done? Oh no, you're still shooting stuff at me. You're not done killing me yet. Got it. Oh crap! They just. Okay, so maybe I will not be able to fight on this wall. That might be a bit of a bit more of a suicide mission than I thought. I was hoping if they just had 2 little spots we could pull it off, but with an entire section of the wall gone, this becomes untenable in every way, shape, or form. So let's move you guys here. Oh, wrong button. Run, boys, run! Run! I still gotta defend 3 points at once, which is not gonna work. But they will have no problem messing me up real fast, so. But I still can use my cavalry, so the good news there. Let's just not forget about my cavalry like I do every other time. Alright, let's see, where can I throw you guys? We don't have any walls! I've got no walls to shoot from. That's not great. That's not ideal. Let's move you guys here for now. Let's move you up here a little bit. Oh, please don't tell me you're going to come from this area too.
The gates have fallen. The enemy advances.
Really? The gates fell? I never would have imagined. Oh, oh. Form. Yes. Crap. You're going to come from here too, aren't you? I can't win against that. There's too many men on every side. Get him. Counter charge. Alright, come on. Move up. Get those archers. Hold. Just kill him. They've only got charging. Oh, I guess they have melee cavalry too. Oh, has anybody ever seen any gameplay for Total War Warhammer 3? I haven't seen any. I kind of don't want to watch it. I'm kind of scared that I'm not gonna like it. I'm a big fan of Warhammer. I really have been disappointed in the Total War Warhammer series so far. And I just feel like after getting fleeced on the second one, which was my own darn fault. I should have paid more attention. I shouldn't have given them my money. I did. I feel like I need to learn a lesson. But Total War Warhammer 3, as much as I love Chaos, because Chaos is my favorite, I love me some Chaos. I'm not really gung ho about the new one, and I've not seen anything about it. But I love Chaos stuff. Chaos is fun. Chaos is the faction where you just get to go absolutely bat crap crazy, and it's totally fine. And they've got all the really weird, cool rules in the game too. Well, I guess the cool rules I didn't say. The old school game, they have all the really funny, cool rules. Also, the RPs, they have like really funny rules, like, you know, randomly a giant freaking squid arm pops out of your head or something. No, silly stuff. Good stuff. Oh no! Come on! Don't leave me alone! Don't come after me! Don't come after me! Don't break! 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 At least not yet. Don't break yet. Get some reinforcements in here. All right. I can maybe pull it. No, I can't. Crap! God dang it! Okay, come on. All right, now pelt them. Pelt. Pelt! Throw! Throw, darn you! Alright, now form up. Come on, now back up. Back up. Back up. Come on. Oh, crap. I just broke the freaking... Oh. Who is? Oh, so yeah, this fight's over now. Oh. I should be zooming in for that. Might as well have some fun. One thing I do like about Attila that they didn't do in Total War Rome 2 is the cameras. When I zoom in, I just want to go up and down where I am. Whereas in Total War 2, it zoom, like if I'll be zooming in here, it'll zoom in over here. Like, I hate that so much. I despise that. Yeah, let's just charge in. Might as well. It just feels like it's not very good at zooming in. Now, I get it, the fact that you're kind of like, this is the point of what I'm looking at versus not this, but it makes it very difficult to kind of gauge where it is that I'm zooming in. And I don't think they, let's see. I don't think it's that way in Shogun 2. I think it's only like that in Total War Rome 2. But maybe I can get a mod to fix that. I have no idea. So they lost, of 1,600 men, they lost 1,000. That's not bad. We definitely made them fight for it. These damn Hispanic rebels. Well, I tried to make it clean, but there you go. See, at least they killed him right. Get him right underneath the jaw. Now, another fun fact is I think the Spatha comes to exist somewhere around this time frame too, which is like a longer, like more of a dueling sword, I think. Let's say dueling sword. More like a regular, what do they call it? Arming sword? Although arming swords don't exist yet, I don't think. I think the Spatha, which kind of looks like a Gladius, but used for actual deflection and parrying, because the Gladius is not good for that. Freaking people that aren't even going to bother to be on my side. Let's see here. Which one is here? I want to at least get this thing fixed. Where was it? Oh, it's Tarako. Okay, that's fine. We can deal with Tarako in a little bit. And what else was here? There was Corey. Now, I want you guys to fort up. Ha. Now the freaking... See, these guys... This is another thing that kind of bothers me. These guys don't exist yet. These guys aren't even here. They don't show up for a very long time. Like, the fact that they exist was simply just so they could sell, like, a race pack. Now, I have them. I paid for them. Like, I think I paid, like, $1 for them. Just so I could play them, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I guess it was kind of a waste of $1. see. Oh, hello. Oh, it's about half and half, and see, you're all kind of wounded, but not enough. And my Emperor's here. Oh, jeez. Oof. My Emperor's here, so that's, and I've got the Allens. Yeah, this is. So it looks like, what year is it? What year is it? What year is it right now? It's 480. Well, Flavius Honorius might die a little soon in this game. Yeah, it doesn't look like a demon's gonna take him. It looks like the where are these guys? Where are these guys? What are these guys called? The Gauls? Looks like those are the Gauls, right? Yeah, the Gauls. Looks like the Gauls might kill him. That's not good. I need to find some soldiers and fast and send them right up there to help him. How long do I have? I just want to see how long I have. I can't see how long I have? That sucks. Okay, well, either way it goes. I hope everybody enjoyed the little history rant tonight. I really enjoyed it. I hope that y'all give me some feedback. Let me go ahead and see if I can find that darn Discord link, because Ham is busy not doing it. Let me see if I can find the darn thing. Oh, well, I can't even put that in there. Come on. Well, I'd like to put the darn link in there. There you go. So there's the link to our Discord. As I said, we're still under construction right now, but would love to get some feedback on what y'all thought about tonight's stream. If y'all didn't like it, maybe I'll just stop doing it. If y'all enjoyed it, I'll definitely keep doing more of them. As I said, I love history. I like to go over all the different little facets, and I'm just fascinated by it. But if everybody's like, ah, shit, man, I don't want to hear your take on history, give us all the bloody good stuff, and then I'll just focus on the wars and whatnot. So I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday evening. I will see you all tomorrow, where we'll pick up with XCOM, and hopefully, I will start to gain some real traction and not burn through all my elite and veteran units. So I hope you have. Well, I appreciate it, Delvin. So I hope you all had a wonderful night. I hope I will see you all tomorrow evening. If you want to, definitely rewatch the stream. I spent about 15-20 minutes waiting for people to kind of come in until I started talking about all the different things that happened, and you'll learn something. So have a good night, everyone.